Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a dupe video for you, and I was debating doing a review for some impression, but honestly that's all I'm seeing on YouTube right now. So I figured I'd do something a little bit different with the Anastasia Subculture palette, and I decided to go through my collection and dupe all the shades for you. So I just received this in the mail yesterday. I ordered it from Sephora. After seeing all these reviews on it and not knowing what to think, I wanted to try it myself still, even though I felt like it was going to be bad. I honestly have only used it once though, with the look I have on today, and the shades I used weren't that bad. I didn't have any problems with blending, though it did have fallout. So I can't give you my personal review on it yet until I've used it more than once, because that's not a fair review in my opinion. But I can find dupes for you guys, so I figured I would do that for you today, and I think I did a pretty good job at going through my collection and finding shades that I thought would dupe this palette. As you can see right there, they're pretty close. I do have a few shades for some of the shadows that were hard to find that aren't as close as others. I was able to find all single shadows, mostly from Makeup Geek or MAC, that you could use in place of some of these shadows. If you happen to really like this palette, you like the colors but are worried about the formula, you don't know if you're gonna like it, try shopping your stash first. Maybe you have some of the colors that I've found to dupe this palette and you're set. So I don't want to spend too much more time talking about it. As I said, I can't personally review the palette right now, so I wanted to dupe the shades for those who are uncertain whether they should buy it, because I know there's so many reviews out there. People love it, people hate it, so why not dupe the colors? It's a beautiful palette, so let's get into it. The first shade is Cube, which honestly was the hardest for me to do, because if you look at this shade, it looks white almost in the pan. It's very hard to get any pigment off of this color. But when you swatch it, it has this really beautiful pink duochrome to it. So in my collection, I personally don't have anything like that, and that's the only shade that I really couldn't find anything that close, because it is quite unique for a palette. I think your best bet might be to look at the Anastasia highlighters that she came out with, if one of those shades might mimic that, because I know there's a lot of really popular duochrome highlighters. That might be your best bet to check that out. But in my personal collection, I honestly thought this shade, Motif from MAC, was the closest dupe. Even though it doesn't look it in the pan, it has more peach to it than the white base. However, it does have that pink shift to it. So you can definitely tell there's a difference between them. If you do like that duochrome effect, this one has a pink peach shift to it. And I wish you could honestly see it in person, because you can definitely tell that shift is the same. It's just the base color. So one you have white, one you have peach. And then this color, Vapour, was another one that I found from MAC. It has more of the white base. It's a little bit more pigmented in that sense, but it still has a really pretty shift to it, more powdery. But again, Cube was the only shade that I really found was unique to the palette, even though it had pretty poor pigmentation for me personally. I'm going to try and do this as fast as I can, but I'm going to go left to right, top to bottom. So next we're going to go with Dawn. For Dawn, I thought these two shades were fairly similar. We have Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. I wanted to show you a side-by-side of Orange Soda from Anastasia, and this is their single shadow. So I'm going to swatch Dawn and those two shades for you, just so you can see a comparison. In the middle is Dawn, then we have Orange Soda, and on the other side is where we have Peach Smoothie, which I feel is closest to it. Next we have Destiny. I have a few shades for this one that I wanted to show you guys. Destiny definitely has a bit more green in it. I think if you had High Tea and Dirty Martini from Makeup Geek, that would equal pretty close to Destiny, which is right there. And then on the other side, I have Coquette, which is from MAC. But as you can see, it doesn't have as much green as Dirty Martini, though that is a pretty good option. And High Tea is definitely a lot more gray. Next in the palette we have Adorn. Adorn, I'm going to show you what I found to be closest to this. The one that I found closest to that is Amber Lights from MAC. Can you guess which one is which? It's really hard to tell. This one's a very good dupe. We have Adorn on that side, and then Amber Lights. They both have the same finish. Pretty good dupe in my opinion is that shade. Next shade in the palette is All Star, which I have yet to try on my eyes, but I hear this one is being a little bit tricky. So All Star is actually pretty close to one of my favorite colors of all time, which is from Makeup Geek. So we have All Star right here, and then we have Cherry Cola from Makeup Geek. You can see there's a little bit more purple in All Star compared to Cherry Cola, but another great option. Mercury. And this one I had a hard time finding something that was exactly like it. We have Mercury in the middle, then we have Mystery from MAC, and then we also have Concrete, also from MAC. Concrete is a little bit more gray, and Mystery is a little bit more red. But both I feel are pretty good options. You could go between either of those. The next color we have is Axis, which is such a beautiful shade. And the shade that I found is from MAC, and it's called Plumage. There's Axis. So Axis, Plumage. There is a comparison between those shades. We have Axis, and then Plumage from MAC. Moving on to the bottom row, we have Roxy. It's more orange than coral, but the closest color I found is coral from MAC, and I just wanted to show you those two. So Roxy obviously pulls more orange, and then coral is a nice vibrant coral. Both are very similar in terms of their brightness. However, you can see a slight difference in the undertone there, but also I think a nice option. Next we have Electric. This one I dug my nail in. This one I'm wearing on my lid right now as a pop of color. And I know a lot of people equated this shade to that of a Dazzle shadow from MAC. So not that I think this color is the same, I just wanted to show you one that is similar to it, just in case you like that effect. This is Like to Watch from MAC, one of their Dazzle shadows. And this has that same almost greenish gold quality to it. But if you're looking for something super intense, I think this is an even better option in my opinion, but I'm just going to show you that. It's so intense. So we have Like to Watch there. It has a very similar kind of shift to it. And then Electric. And then I will show you Gorgeous Gold, which has that kind of green base to it, which is a gold color, just like Electric is. This is also from MAC. You can tell I have a lot of MAC, a lot of Makeup Geek. And this is Gorgeous Gold. So you can kind of see the variation there. Still very close. Moving on, we have Fudge, which is the only permanent shadow that Anastasia has in this palette. And the Fudge in this one is a lot warmer than Fudge we have seen previous. Because if you compare it to, this is the Fudge I have, right there. I'll swatch it for you guys as well. But it's more chocolatey, less warm compared to the Fudge in this palette. So I will be duping this Fudge still for you, even though it's a permanent shade. This color specifically I had issues with. This is New Fudge. This is Old Fudge, both from Anastasia. The color I found to closely dupe this color is from MAC. It's Brown Down. It still has more red than orange in it, but it's the closest thing that I could come to New Fudge, in case you're curious about that shade. I just wanted to make sure you saw it compared to their other Fudge shade, because it's not the same, in my opinion. Next is New Wave. This is a gorgeous color, but it acts kind of weird. The closest dupe I could find to New Wave is Chickadee from Makeup Geek. It's one of my favorite colors Makeup Geek makes. And just excuse any glitter you see, but this is New Wave, that is Chickadee. New Wave is slightly deeper than Chickadee, but both pretty close. Untamed, I found the shade Bottle Green from MAC. It is a pro shade, one of my favorite colors that MAC makes, and I am wearing Untamed on my eyes right now today. Here is Untamed, and here is Bottle Green from MAC. Next in our palette is Edge, and I have two shades to share with you. I have two because some of you may still have this shade, but it has been discontinued from MAC, So I obviously wanted to include one that's not discontinued. And you can still actually find these at cosmetic company outlet stores and occasionally online, not on their websites, but some sites still sell this. This is Burnt Orange from MAC. And then an option, if you can't find that, is Desert Sands from Makeup Geek. And just any kind of mustard color. So when you compare Edge to Makeup Geek's Desert Sands, you're going to think that these two aren't very... Wait, where are we? You're going to think that these two aren't very close. In fact, Edge oxidizes quite closely to Desert Sands because it is a mustardy shade. That's what I have in my crease, and it's definitely not as light as you see in the pan. It's actually closer to this kind of mustard color. So in the middle we have Edge, then we have Burnt Orange over here, just pretty close, and then Desert Sand. This does oxidize, so it's getting slightly darker, and I do find it looks virtually the same as Desert Sand. Last shade is Rowdy, which is a blackened purple. This is an absolutely gorgeous shade, and I don't have anything quite this deep dark in the purple category. It's almost black, but it's so gorgeous. I do find the Anastasia palette quite unique, and I hope they figure out the formula or what they can do, since some people are having such a hard time with the palette. The shade combination in this thing is so amazing. For the time being, until they figure it out, I figured you guys might want to see some dupes. I don't have anything quite this dark, nothing like it for me personally, so I wasn't able to dupe it. But I'm going to show you what I would do to get that color. So here we have Rowdy. Then I have Shadowy Lady from MAC. And then I would just use black with it. I would mix black with it and you would get a really nice deep purple shade. So you can see it's very off. But I don't have a dark purple, surprisingly. So those are all the eyeshadows I was able to find. I hope you guys enjoyed this little dupe swatch fest of the Subculture palette. And if you happen to have any more dupes for this, please leave them down below to help each other out. I would love that we could all help each other out in that respect, because I know a lot of people want to try this but they're unsure. So maybe shop your stash, find some dupes, and use the ones that I have in the meantime until they kind of can figure out the formula or what's going on, because some people are having issues. And that's going to be it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll be sure to do some more of these in the future. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.